Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome back to the channel. This is my spoiler-free review for Star Wars Tempest Runner, The High Republic. This is an audio drama written by Kevin Scott, and this is a big deal, right? Because it's the first time we're getting this kind of medium in The High Republic. Yes, we have gotten other audio dramas before, one of them written by Kevin Scott, Dooku Jedi Lost was the first one of them. Last year we got the Dr. Aphra audio drama, but we are getting our first deep dive into the High Republic, hearing these characters' voices, hearing the sound effects of everything that is going on. So to put this in perspective, there is a main character, and that is Lourna Dee, one of the Tempest Runners, one of the three big leaders of the Nihil, if you don't count Marchion Ro, of course. So we have this character of Lourna Dee being fully voiced. Of course, I mean, this entire thing is fully voiced. Different actors. There's at least a dozen actors in here, and she is voiced specifically by Jessica Almasi, brings Lourna Dee to life. So we take place in this story after the events of the Rising Storm, which was the attack on Valos. So it takes place a couple months after that, and technically it takes place after the events of Star Wars Out of the Shadows. So we are in this point of the story where Lourna Dee is on the run from the Republic, and she unfortunately doesn't get very far before she is captured. And for all her crimes, she is put on board this Republic Corrections spaceship called the Restitution. So the cool thing about what the Republic is doing with their criminals and their prisoners is they are kind of giving them a way to make their amends to their crimes against humanity and everything else. So in this case, this ship is going from planet to planet where destruction has happened and they're rebuilding. So a lot of these characters that are on this ship are actually Nihil themselves. So it's kind of like this coming full circle where they kind of repair the damage that they sowed, sort of thing. So this story really did give me a lot of those Orange is the New Black vibes, right? Because we have Lourna Dee, she's on the ship. Some of these people she has seen in her past, and she's trying to keep it secret that she was Tempest Runner because that's going to bring her a lot of heat. So she's trying to keep it on the down low, although some characters know who she really is, and she has to kind of keep them from telling others. There's a lot of allies on this ship, but there's also a lot of criminals that are wanting her dead and wanting her to feel a lot of pain. So there's lots of really cool kind of storytelling going in that vein. As far as the overall storytelling technique, I really did enjoy it because Kevin Scott gives us a really good deep dive into the character of Lourna Dee, not just of her present, but in her past as well. We learn about different things about her growing up with a well-to-do family on a colony world of Ryloth, but then we actually see her, training with the military on Krita. We get to see how she slowly starts to slip into the underworld sort of things. And I think it's a great job by Kevin Scott to giving us these looks into her past when melding them into the current present storyline that they were telling. So there's lots of moments where she's, let's say, being interrogated by a security officer aboard Starlight Beacon, and she's reminiscing about how she started out on that colony world. But then she's also talking to a previous acquaintance about their time in, the Nile. So there's all different ways that they're able to organically kind of get, the story of her past while still pushing along forward. I think the pacing in this story is great. For a 6-hour audio drama, you can get through this thing in basically 2 days if you're listening to it, on the car ride, at the gym, stuff like that. So again, that's what's really great about audio dramas and audiobooks is they're very accessible for anybody to do anything and multitask at the same time. What I will say is the voices in this are fantastic. Actually getting voices to characters like Skier and Marchion Ro, and Mark Thompson is a renowned narrator for Star Wars audiobooks, hearing him being able to do this, but also hearing other people that I haven't heard before giving voices to these characters like Avar Chris and Keith Trent as characters that I've been reading on the page and haven't actually heard. So it was really a thrill for me to be able to kind of get that experience for the first time with the High Republic, being so invested as I am already. We also have the sound effects, which really do it for me. The sound effects, I feel like, are the best out of any of the audio dramas so far. We get stuff like voice modulation, right? When people are wearing helmets, they're taking off the helmets. There's a clear indicator that they're not wearing helmets anymore, of course. But then you have like really cool droid sounds and droid speaking and whatnot. I feel like the music is fine, and this is something I would have liked to see, or at least in the future, I would like to see some kind of like full album with the High Republic original music. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be composed by John Williams, but hey, get like, you know, Giacchino or the guy that did Solo, I forget his name at the moment. Like get Kiner, get Kevin Kiner to make some original themes for the High Republic. And I think that would elevate this even further, because sometimes there is like that generic kind of music, but it is nice seeing like the rock music and stuff that is playing in the background when you're in a Nihil area, because that does really evoke like, okay, these guys are the punks of the Star Wars universe. Of course, you know, giving layers to Lourna Dee, right? Getting this character that seems so one note, but giving her more stuff to do overall in this. I do like the idea of a villain getting the redemption that's in a different way from them just dying off immediately, right? From Darth Vader to Ben Solo / Kylo Ren, they do this huge heroic act and then they're dead, right? So we don't really get to see what they do after the fact. So getting the idea of a Republic having this ship that goes planet to planet to be able to service the needs of the people with the criminals that did the work, did the harm, right? So getting to see her kind of thinking and going through those processes of what's going on, I thought that really was awesome there. Getting to my negatives, I feel like definitely towards the end of the audio drama, the action was like at a breakneck speed. So in case you are like driving or you are like counting reps at the gym, it was super difficult to be able to basically pay attention. And I'm not saying like everybody should be multitasking, you know, listening to an audio drama, but I did have to kind of sit and really just focus, because if you don't, I kind of got things lost in the translation there. Some of the voices for me just didn't do it for me. Like Buryaga, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they could just recycle Chewbacca's voice and from the movies and all the other things he was in, or just whatever Wookiees, and it would be serviceable. But that was all for me. And also there's some characters in this story that sound, even though they're, you know, portrayed by different voice actors, the accents and everything sounds so similar to me that it's hard for me to differentiate the characters. And it happened on multiple occasions throughout this audio drama. So that for me made it a little bit harder to focus. And another negative here is basically the transition of certain characters. They start the audio drama in a certain area and they end in a certain area, if you know what I mean. So while there is character development in the middle there, the fact that they end up the same place they started sometimes just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit whenever I'm experiencing any kind of story. But with that being said, I really did enjoy Star Wars Tempest Runner. I got to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think this is a great first step into the High Republic if you are wanting to know what these characters sound like. And I really hope that they kind of retain the same voice actors and make it, consistent throughout the mediums. Hey, maybe one day they'll make an animated series and some of these characters, voice actors will still be able to voice those characters and give us like really that kind of that whole package when it comes to these characters and what we think of them. So for more on the High Republic, make sure you go ahead and check out my playlist dedicated to the High Republic. And for more on Star Wars and everything else, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and do hit that bell notification icon so you never miss any other videos coming out. That is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.